June 13th, 2023. If we could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, Mr. Brian Barzik, would you lead us, please? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Madam Clerk, will you call roll, please?
Sikora?
Here.
Terenzi? Here. O'Donnell?
Here.
Deanne?
Here.
Ryan?
Here.
Robinson?
Here.
Mayor Calendino?
Here, all present, and we have a quorum. Thank you. Tonight, we do have a couple public hearings and a jam-packed agenda. First public hearing's at 7:50, so we're going to try to get through as much as we can before that time. The first item that we're going to do tonight is the swearing in of our new police chief, Matthew Kaluzny. Is everybody's mic on?
Yes.
It's my honor to have worked with Chief Kaluzny now for several years. I've really treasured our time together. He's smart, he's dedicated. I know he really cares about the residents of Utica, and of course, that's our number one priority. Chief Kaluzny's been with the city since 2005. He's an Army veteran. He has a master's degree from Oakland University, a bachelor's degree from Michigan State University. Wolverines, don't hold that against him, please. And he also graduated from the FBI National Committee, is that what? Academy, with a graduate certificate. So Chief Kaluzny comes to the city with all the qualifications. I'm sure he's going to continue all the great work that our retired chief, Sean Cody, did for our city, we're honored to have him in attendance tonight. It's good to see you again, Chief Cody. So at this time, I'd like to ask Chief Kaluzny to come up to the front. A lot of folders there. Make sure I have the right one so I don't goof up. You could raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of this state,
the Constitution of this state,
the Charter for the City of Utica,
the Charter for the City of Utica,
the rules and regulations,
the rules and regulations,
policies and procedures,
policies and procedures,
and the general orders
and the general orders
of the Utica Police Department,
of the Utica Police Department,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of Chief of Police
of Chief of Police
for the City of Utica
for the City of Utica
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Now be careful. I don't know how good our workman's comp is.
No Velcro.
Yeah, I noticed no Velcro this time.
Guess we should practice this.
His other shirt has the eyelets.
Got a pocket knife if you wanna.
I'd like to thank my family for coming out here, my wife and kids, and my parents have been extremely supportive and really guided me through this whole thing. I appreciate the officers and everybody that I work with. Especially want to thank outgoing Chief Cody. I really wouldn't be here if it wasn't for his guidance and his mentorship. He really meant a lot to me. And to mayor and council, I cannot thank you enough for the trust and the support and just the faith in my abilities to lead this department. I look forward to the new officers that we have coming on board and the officers that we have right now, and I really think it's a great time for the city of Utica. We've got some really great officers and stuff, so thank you for this opportunity.
Well earned.
Congratulations.
There's always more.
Chief, I'm gonna put you on the spot. We're gonna, you can go to the mic,
Okay.
and we're gonna go right into our officer swearing-ins. First up is Officer Ryan Bose.
All right, good evening, Mayor and Council. As I said, this is really an exciting part for the city of Utica is to bring in the new officers and stuff. So I'd like to start with Officer Ryan Bose. Officer Bose comes to us from the Macomb Police Academy. He's a recent graduate of the academy. He has a bachelor's degree from Missouri Baptist University, where he went down, studied schools, and he also played collegiate level soccer. Officer Bose is very passionate about playing soccer and also coaching youth soccer. When Officer Bose is not playing soccer or working as a member of the police department, he likes to volunteer in his church. He's also a vocalist at church services, so we'll be putting those techniques to test here. We're really excited to see Officer Bose come and select the Utica Police Department as a member to join our ranks. The climate for policing is pretty interesting, and there's jobs all over the place, and it's nice to see young officers wanting to come to the city of Utica and wanting to make a difference. Officer Bose is joined here by his family and his fiancee Michaela, and we look forward to seeing what he has to contribute to the city and to the citizens. So Officer Bose, we can meet the mayor up at the front there.
And you get shielded. And if you will raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of this state,
the Constitution of this state,
the Charter
the Charter
for the City of Utica,
for the City of Utica,
the rules and regulations,
the rules and regulations,
policies and procedures,
policies and procedures,
and the general orders
and the general orders
of the Utica Police Department,
of the Utica Police Department,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of police officer
of police officer
for the City of Utica,
for the City of Utica,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Very sharp.
Happy to have you. Welcome. Well, you're in a good spot. You're gonna like it here.
All right, as Mayor and Council, as we're continuing on, we have another officer here that I'd like to introduce you to. This is Officer Michael Davidowski. Officer Davidowski is also a recent graduate of the Macomb Police Academy here, so we're doing pretty good of taking these fine recruits out of the academy and bringing them into our ranks here. Officer Davidowski comes to work every day. He brings an enthusiasm. He brings just a warmth of fresh air, and he's always asking questions. He's always getting involved, and he wants to continue to learn. So that's what we'd like to see, is these new officers coming on to the thing. Officer Davidowski lives in Lennox Township, and when he's not working as an officer, he enjoys hunting, he enjoys bowling, he enjoys hanging out and spending time with his family and with his girlfriend. Pinning Officer Davidowski's badge on tonight will be his girlfriend, Elena. So Davidowski, if you could go up and meet the mayor up at the front.
And I'm hoping your girlfriend has yes. You will raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of this state,
the Constitution of this state,
the Charter
the Charter
for the City of Utica,
for the City of Utica,
the rules and regulations,
the rules and regulations,
policies and procedures,
policies and procedures,
and the general orders
and the general orders
of the Utica Police Department,
of the Utica Police Department,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of police officer
of police officer
for the City of Utica
for the City of Utica,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Happy to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome aboard. Thank you. Downstairs first.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
And all the friends and family that were here for this happy event of the swearing in of our two new police officers, you're welcome to stay and enjoy the rest of our exciting council meeting. Or if you prefer to leave, we totally understand. Good night, folks. Thanks again, folks. Have a great night. Thank you.
Congratulations on all of you.
I know. That's why their parents had to be here to sign permission slips. Stop it.
Yeah, that's my daughter-in-law. She would leave her head in.
27 when I became the police? 27? Yeah, I was in the Army 5 years before that, so.
All right, we still have a few minutes, so moving on with our agenda. At this time, we open up the floor for public comments for any items that are listed on the agenda. Anyone is welcome to speak to council for 3 minutes. Again, that's for items that are listed on your agenda tonight. Is there anyone from the public that would like to address council? Going once, going twice. Very good. Moving on, I would be looking for a motion to approve all the items that are listed under consent business.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the consent business.
Motion by Dion.
Support.
Support by O'Donnell. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, the roll call vote, please.
Sikora?
Yes.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next on the agenda is unfinished business. As council will recall, we recently agreed to become part of the Purple Heart Trail. That is an initiative taking place across the state where communities are joining this organization, the Purple Heart Trail. And it's to honor folks, military folks that were combat wounded and also our KIAs. Mayor Pro Tem Sikora graciously agreed to handle the signs. In your packet, you'll see a design for two different signs. The first one is, they're not to scale, obviously. The first one is a 24-inch by 24-inch large sign. The idea is that one will be installed in the area of Memorial Park, away from the War Memorial, closer to where the flagpoles are. And the second sample you see in your packet is a smaller sign, 18 inches tall by 12 inches wide, more similar to like a no parking sign. And 3 or 4 of those, I don't think we've settled 100%, but 3 or 4 of those will be installed along Auburn Road and Cass, leading to the American Legion post. So tonight, I would be looking for a motion to approve the design and installation of the signs that you see in your packet.
I'll make that motion to approve the design and installation of the Purple Heart signs.
Support.
Motion by Terenzi, support by Sikora. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Sikora?
Yes.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Should have
Yes,
made it.
motion carries. Thank you, everybody. Just so you know, I did bring this up at, as most of you know, I'm also second vice commander at the American Legion post. I brought it up at our last meeting that council would be voting on this tonight. They were very appreciative and very excited to be a part of this, that we would be connecting the War Memorial Park to the American Legion post. And they approved of it as well, subject to council's approval, so thank you again. Next on the agenda is the 45893 Brunel Sewer Bill. In your packet, you'll see all the information necessary. Is the petitioner here tonight? We had a resident from Brunel Street that was requesting relief on his sewer charges. At the time, we postponed that vote until Mr. Lang's crew could get out there and verify whether or not it was their conclusion that the water actually leaked into the ground rather than the sewer system. You do have a document from DPW that appears to be confirming that that water did indeed drain into the ground. Would you concur to that, Mr. Lang? Yes. So the relief that this resident is looking for is sewer fees of $851.73 from the December 2022 bill and $1,680 from the January 2023 bill, for a total of $2,531.73. At last month's meeting, we did request that the resident would pay up to current his water bill, and Madam Clerk confirmed with me earlier today that that did happen. So we would be looking for a motion to waive sewer fees to a total of $2,531.73.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Deanne, support by Terenzi. Any discussion from council?
I do have one thing to say. This is not something that we normally do, but this is an exceptional situation. The concern is that we're setting a precedent, which we're not. We're making an exception if it passes.
Well, I don't know if exception's the right word. On documentation by the DPW and our superintendent, this is all based on the premise that the water did not drain into our sewer system, of which we would have then been charged to process that water. If the opposite would have been true, and it would have said this went into the sewers, there would be no waiving of any fee. So,
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
And that's why I like to sit back there.
Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Sikora?
yes.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. And I'm assuming, Madam Clerk, you'll reach out to the resident and let them know. At this time, it's 7:50, the published time for our first public hearing. I would be looking for a motion to leave the council meeting and enter into public hearing
So
period.
moved.
Support.
Motion by Sikora, support by Terenzi. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, a roll call vote, please.
Sikora?
Yes.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. We are now in public hearing. In your packet, you will see, and I have to find it, AIS, which is a request for temporary tent and fireworks sales at 13277 Hall Road. Is the petitioner here tonight? Yes, sir. If you could go to the podium and give us your name and address, please.
How are you? My name is Virgil Johnson. I've been doing fireworks here for several years, and it's been a pleasure to deal with all of you. I'm petitioning to put a tent in the far corner from Krispy Kreme in the center where the Christmas tree store is, stuff like that. Everything would be the same. It's already been approved by the state. I've already set up all the inspections, and we're ready to go pretty much, as long as everything's okay with you guys.
Is it the same footprint as in years
Same thing,
past?
same thing. It works, so we keep it that way.
Right.
Same people are there. They've been with me for over 20 years. You know, so yeah, we pretty much run it the same way. You know, the guy that runs it's an engineer at Ford's. You know, he's a good guy.
And I'm guessing you've discussed this with our fire chief and our police chief.
This
is all handled at state level now.
Oh, it's all state level?
Yeah, yeah. They email me. I have the state inspector already taking care of everything. You know, their guidelines are pretty stringent.
Any questions from council? Is there anyone from the public that's here tonight to speak to this issue?
Mayor, can I add, his plans for his tent have been approved by the building department. His sign permit has also been approved by the building department.
And I believe our planner commented on this as well?
Yes.
Yep.
Mr. Mayor, sir, might I ask a question? Sure. Mr. Johnson comes here.
Yes, sir.
Year after year, again and again, and he's through the same process. Is there a way that we might be able to grant him the opportunity to maybe have a length of time for maybe a couple of years in a row? Is that possible? To give him, instead of come back every year, we could stipulate a fee instead of having him come in every time, and then so long as inspections were met through the state, he would be authorized to maybe go a 3-year period or a 5-year period, because his history, from what I understand, he's never had any incidents of safety that have reached our level of information. So I'm just wondering, maybe for his convenience, maybe he could have it paid for a couple years in advance or do something to that effect. Would that be reasonable?
I know there's a couple things at play here. It's not just the fireworks license or whatever, it's also the tent. So I think we would have to discuss that with our planner, Amanda, who's not here this evening.
I mean, because although we like to see him every year, but it is nice to have you in. But it's wash, rinse, repeat, the same process for you every year. Just wonder if maybe it'd be convenient to give you a license to do
I would
it.
appreciate it, but I enjoy coming in to see Lori and Beth, before,
Well, she does
They're
have
always
snacks.
really nice.
She does have snacks over, so let me know when you're going. We'll get them.
I don't get invited to her cottage up north.
You're not the only one.
All right, Mr. Johnson, I do think we have somebody, you're going to have to go to the podium and give us your name and address, sir.
Yes, Jim Stone from Klinkhammer Street. A quick question. During what days will the sale take place?
We're looking to put the tent up. We're looking to put the tent up around the 22nd, and then I try and get the, yes, of June. I try and do 2 weekends. It depends on when the 4th falls, so it falls on Tuesday. So I try and do the weekend prior, so people can know that we're there and it's visible. Last year, we had a ton of construction, so that affected us on Shaner. But it's only generally 10 days, 11 days, and I'm done by the 5th. And we're closing up, we clean it up, tent comes down, we do the repairs to the parking lot, and we're out of there. So it's very short period of time.
And just so you know, Mr. Stone, all that information is in the packet that's published on the city website. There's an AIS form that lists the dates of 6/22 through 7/6, July 6th. And the packet also includes information like an elevation drawing of what Mr. Johnson's proposing, actually very detailed.
It's pretty detailed.
Yeah, like I said, the state is very stringent.
Right.
I have to,
Stricter than us.
there's a lot, but it's okay. I don't mind it.
Is there anyone else from the public that would like to speak to this issue? Okay, we're a few minutes ahead of schedule. We'll be Chief?
The fees that they pay in the state do come back. We get training funds from the state of Michigan to the county for whatever the county sees fit for our training. So
That's
so
nice
some
to
of the
know.
fees that they pay come back to your community.
That's nice to know.
Yeah, we pay a safety fee every year. It's just like a sales tax. We have to pay 6% on every sale to the state for safety fees, which that comes back to the communities that participate.
It's good info. Unlike the carnivals and
Right.
other things, right? All right, sir, if there's nothing else, we'll be voting on this later on in the agenda tonight.
problem, thank you.
We do have a few minutes, so I would like, yes? That's what I was getting ready to do. I would be looking for a motion to exit the public hearing.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Sikora, support by Torenzi. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, a roll call vote, please.
Sikora?
Yes.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes. Motion carries. We are back in council meeting, but we're going back to public hearing here in about 3 minutes. As you can tell, I'm trying to keep things moving along. So the next item on the agenda under unfinished business is the priority waste contract. If you can find it in your packet, and I seem to have lost mine.
It's about page 32-ish.
Yeah, where did I put mine? I put all these little stickies on here, so it's easy for me to keep along, and you can tell it's not working out too great tonight. Let's see here.
There you go, Gus.
Perfect. So you can see on the AIS form, a little bit of background. We entered into a 5-year contract with Priority Waste. We've completed, well, will have completed as of, I believe it's July 1st, or June, the end of June, the first 3 years. The last 2 years of the contract are at the city's option. If the city exercises the 2-year options, the rates would be, and I've listed them on the AIS form, they do drop to $14.38 per month for year 4 and $14.74 for year 5. Priority Waste came to us because they had, we had gone to them several times over the first 3 years of the contract, inquiring about different services such as shred, electronic recycle, and hazardous waste event. Priority did put together an option which would, instead of going into the 2-year option period, we would enter into a brand-new 5-year contract with year 1 cost being $18 per month per resident, going up to $20.26 per month per resident in the final year of the contract, which would end in June of 2028. I'd like to thank Mr. Vinay for coming out last council meeting. He's here again tonight for presenting what these options were. So tonight, it's up to us to decide if we want to exercise the 2-year option or enter into the new 5-year contract as outlined on your AIS form. So I would be looking for a motion for either option A or option B.
So moved.
Mr.
That's either.
Mr. Mayor,
I want to get this one.
which one do you like? You want the 2 or the 5? You want the extension or you want the 5-year? That's what Mr. Mayor's looking for.
I would make a motion for the first option to exercise the 2-year option.
So just to be clear for the record, you're making a motion to exercise the 2-year option of our existing 5-year contract.
That's correct.
Motion by Robinson,
Support.
support by Sikora. Now we can have discussion. Is there any discussion from council?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Sir, I can appreciate Mr. Robinson's interest in the 2-year option. I would like to query council, see where they feel.
Well, that's what the vote would be for.
Yep. But we're voting on either 2 or 5, so we really need to, there's 2 options here. I would encourage council to consider the 5-year contract, only because even the process of putting out the RFP is arduous, lengthy, and uncertain. And as times go on, it seems like we're locked in at prices here for quite a while. Next 5 years, I think there's value in being locked in. The prices aren't significant. The increase is minimal. And I think having the service that we have and the one that we know is valuable instead of going outside, only because then the prices, once you start shopping around, can certainly change in the next couple of years. I feel being locked in with these 5 years, with untold gas prices, untold increases that we've seen between food services in the world, gas prices, and everything else in the world that's going up, these seem like a minimal increases that are a little more certain with this changing world that we're in. I would be in favor of a 5-year contract from the end of the next contracts here.
To your point, there is one important thing I noticed when I did my math. The first 3 years of the contract, if you do the math, the increase was about 6% or so.
Yes, sir.
And if we, in the new 5-year contract option, the increase was about 3% or so.
Sure. And just for
from year to year.
And just for argument's sake, if we were to look at the price of gas at the time of our contract we entered into with Priority Waste back in 2019? Was it 20? I would say that gas prices have probably doubled since then, so who knows what's going to happen in the future. Again, I want the very best price, the very best product for the very best price for the residents, but I would think that very seriously, we'd be short-sighted if we didn't consider the changing times with our economic situations in the U.S. overall with gas prices alone. An election coming up next year, that's going to change things dramatically, and elections always have results. So I would encourage our council members to think about the 5-year contract at this point. It seems like a safe maneuver, in my opinion.
The difference in cost between the option year price, which I listed, for year 1 would be $14.38, and new contract price is $18. That's a difference of $3.62
Per household per year?
household per month, or $43.44 per year. I did do a very unscientific social media poll to see what the residents preferred. Again, very unscientific, small sample. I think I got under 300 responses, but 61% of the responders to that poll indicated that they wanted to go with the 2-year option.
Okay.
Any other discussion from council?
We have the increases if we enter into the 5-year agreement. Part of that, you have 1 shred day, 1 electronic recycle day, and what they home hazardous waste day, which is limited to the first 300 people. You're paying for services that I really don't know how many people are really going to use. Because you have to pack up your stuff, go to a location that is determined, which I'm going to assume would be the DPW yard, to use it at that given point in time. For the difference of $43 a year, how many residents are really gonna get $43 worth of service out of that? I personally don't think that's gonna happen. I do agree with Councilman Dion's idea of gas going up and down. I don't know if Priorities contract has a gas clause in it, but the one I have for my business, they can raise it based on gas rates, okay? And it changes all the time. So I don't know about this one, but based on the idea that you have to take these services that I think aren't gonna get used, that's why I'm in favor of just taking the last 2 years of this 5-year original deal.
Any further discussion? All
I'm
right.
in favor of taking the last 2 years at the lower rate, because this is a year that our taxes are going up and everything else is going up. So if we can keep one thing at a lower rate for our residents.
And I'm in favor of that too. I'm just playing devil's advocate to some degree of saying, are we gonna fast forward ourselves here next couple of years and be like, I wish we would've made a smarter move after the fact, because when we do put this out for an RFP, and we put out to all the big players in the waste management business, are we going to get stuck with exceptionally higher rates? So only time will tell, but sometimes I'd rather make the safe move, which is the one that we know versus the unknowns, and sometimes the one that we know has some value in it to me.
Very good. Well, we do have a motion on the floor and support to enter into the 2-year option. If there's no further discussion from council, Madam Clerk, a roll call vote, please.
Sikora?
Yes.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
No.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. We'll be entering into the 2-year option. And again, thank you, Mr. Vinay, for coming out tonight. We appreciate it. Just like I told all our visitors from the police officers' families and friends.
We'll talk tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're a couple minutes over here. I would be looking for a motion to go into public hearing.
So moved, sir.
Motion by Dion,
Support.
support by Torenzi. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, a roll call vote, please.
Sikora?
Yes.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. We are now in public hearing. This item is for the fiscal year 2024 budget, and we have our finance director, Mr. Paternoster, to lead us through the process.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, citizens in the audience who are interested in this. This public hearing has two purposes. One, to establish the budget of the various funds of the city of Utica for fiscal year ending June 30, 2024, and also to discuss the millage rates that are being requested to raise taxes to help defray the costs of that general fund and public library fund budgets. Since the general fund and library budgets would not have any funding if we didn't discuss the millage rates, I'm going to begin with the issue of taxation. For fiscal year 2022, we had millage rates for the general fund, general operating millage, 16.4024. For public safety, 1.6398. Public library has two millages. Their regular millage is 0.8197, and their secondary voted millage, which expires in 2026, I believe it is 0.3894. The Headley rollback fraction for fiscal year 2023 results in no change in our maximum allowable levies. We are currently levying the maximum under Headley. The recommendation to council is to continue levying the millage rates that were in effect for fiscal year 2022. Doing so because of a increase in taxable value for the city as a whole will result in an increase in the total tax revenue generated. And we are talking $230,422 in increase based on our proposal to keep the millage rates as they were last year. For those who aren't aware, the millage, or the taxable value of the city is capped by by Proposal A, which was an amendment to the state constitution. Taxable values year over year are limited in growth by the rate of inflation, not to exceed 5%. The inflation rate for 2023 was 7.9%, but because of Proposal A, it was capped at 5%, hence the increase in growth in tax revenue. That being said, we'll move on to the budgets, beginning with the general fund. I presented to you an annual budget with revenues of $7,769,280, expenditures of $7,591,980, with a budgeted net revenue of $177,300. Upon further review, I discovered that there were some formula errors in my spreadsheet, resulting in a reduction in the budgeted net revenues of $12,830, reducing that to $164,470. Those errors affected transfers from assigned fund balance of $520. There was a budget item of $3,000 for a grant through SEMCOG on the expenditure side, $3,000 affecting other general government, and on the ambulance service under health and welfare, the formula error resulted in requiring an increase in expenditures of $9,310. So we will have to amend the proposed budget to the following. Total revenues, $768,760. Total expenditures, $7,604,290, and budgeted net revenues, $164,470. I apologize for those errors in the calculation. Moving on, we have two funds that we use for accounting for activity from the state fuel under the Highway Act, the Major Street Fund and the Local Street Fund. I submitted to you a proposed budget for the Major Street Fund having revenues of $488,710, expenditures of $251,080 for a budgeted net revenue of $237,630. Again, there was a formula error that missed a sidewalk construction project being funded by the MEDC enhancement grant, which increased the total expenditures by $68,080. The revenue had been accounted for, the grant revenue. That increases our expenditures, and so we will have to make that amendment to include that $68,000 when we adopt the budget. The Local Street Fund, I found no errors in the formulas. We have a revenue of $170,260, expenditures of $63,000, for a net revenue of $107,260. Moving on to the Liquor Enforcement Fund, we have projected revenues of $16,500, no projected expenditures for the year, so a net revenue of $16,500. The Building Code Enforcement Fund, we have revenues of $173,500, expenditures of $166,900, for a net revenue of $6,600. Drug Enforcement Fund, we have no expenditures or any revenues projected for fiscal year 2024. I provide this budget because we do have activity in fiscal year 2023 that has to be reported. That's a capital outlay of $8,220. Public Library Fund is projecting revenues of $304,530, expenditures of $298,060 for a net revenue of $6,470. The Municipal Building Authority, which derives its revenues from the general fund, revenues of rent for $13,500, expenditures of $32,500, for a net expenditure of $19,000. It does leave an estimated surplus of $13,570 in the fund. Finally, the OPEB Trust Fund, which is used to set aside money against our liabilities for retiree health care promises. We have revenues projected of $232,530, expenditures of $4,250, for a net revenue of $228,280. That is my presentation.
Oh, I feel bad for the people that left. They really missed out. You warned them, though. Well, it's going to be exciting, Mr. Mayor.
I know. They didn't want to stick around. I don't understand it. Any discussion from council?
No, sir.
I'd just like to thank Mr. Paternoster for all the hard work and council members that attended the budget meetings. We know how grueling all those Tuesday nights are. I'm very proud of what we've done with the budget. I think it's the 5th year in a row now that we've come to the point where we're about to adopt a surplus budget again, 5th year, after quite a few years of not being able to do that without touching our reserves. So that's great news. The fund balance continues to grow. We're also, if you look at the budget documentation, we're ending the 2023 fiscal year with net revenue of $570,080. So that's fantastic news. So thank you to everybody. Any other discussion from anybody on council? As this is a public hearing, is there anyone from the public that would like to speak to this item? Mr.
I have
Const?
one question. Paul Cons, 45814 Hecker Street. I only had one question. Is all this numbers and everything that the treasurer has, is that in this 146-page summary?
It is.
Thank you.
That was an easy one. Yeah, that's what we're referencing up here. Any other discussion from the public? All right, if not, I would be looking for a motion to leave public hearing and return to our regular council meeting.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Sikora, support by Terenzi. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Sikora?
Yes.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Moving on with our agenda. We discussed last council meeting, we had a request by one of our downtown business owners to revisit the way we charge for outdoor patio seating. I would like to thank Councilman O'Donnell and Councilman Robinson for doing some very valuable research. And we worked together to come up with a new formula that's based on square footage rather than the rather arbitrary part amount that we had been charging, which I believe was $700 for the first the initial year and $600 for subsequent years. The formula we came up with was to charge $20 per square foot divided by 20 years. The $20 per square foot is an inflation-adjusted useful life replacement cost of the sidewalk. We also included $1 per square foot per year as a usage fee, and $75 per year for both the city office for administrative costs, and $75 per year for building inspections. I believe I have my math here. The business that requested this, it reduced their cost from $600 to $390. So it's a significant drop in costs. So I would be looking for a motion to approve the new fee structure for outdoor seating in public areas.
So moved.
Motion by Robinson,
Support.
support by Terenzi. Is there any discussion from council?
I personally believe that the dollar per square foot per year usage fee is too low. If you took somebody that's got 150 square feet, they have a 5-year or 5-month season, June, July, August, September, and going into October to sit outside. So if that was a $150 fee, you are renting them the sidewalk, which makes it more difficult, and I know you're trying to bring business in. That's only $30 a month fee for those 5 months. I personally believe that that fee should be raised. I own 2 different businesses, so it's not like don't know what it's like to be charged all the different fees, arbitrary usage. But that's extending your floor space. It's helping us, but it's also helping them. So the $20 per square foot per year is basically $1 per square foot, again, per year, divided it out. So I just think the usage fee should be higher, whether it's $1.50, $2. The rest of it, you have administrative costs that does cost the city money to do. Building inspection costs, you have to send a building inspector out there, do the reports, make sure it's all okay. So those should be covering our costs. We don't make money on those. But my only area of concern is just a $1 per square foot usage fee.
And to be clear, it's not prorated, so it's for the whole season.
Oh, yeah, no, I
So even though
understand.
and I believe the application that they actually fill out, I don't know if it's in the packet or not, I don't think it is in the packet, but it dictates, what is it, from April to October, Madam Clerk, I think? But it's not prorated by month. It's for
Understood.
the whole
It
season.
was brought up by the person that was concerned about the amount of money, that the season was only so long.
Right.
So,
Mr. Mayor, I do have a question. It pertains to Mr. Lang. He might be able to answer. At my residence, I have a sidewalk in front of my home that traverses across the front of my yard. If a slab of concrete needs to be replaced there, who's responsible for that? It would be myself, correct, as the homeowner?
Not necessarily. We've done it both, well, we've yet to charge a homeowner for any sidewalk repairs.
But I would
Cass
think that-
Avenue, when the road was reconstructed, we did sidewalks
Sure,
at
but I
no
think-
cost to the resident.
I think you could argue that the responsibility lies on the homeowner to maintain the sidewalk. I've owned properties in the past and had to replace them as a homeowner.
The ordinance reads
demand of the
that
city.
it's the homeowners.
So in this case, looking at the properties in downtown on Auburn Road, where there's sidewalk, who owns the sidewalk there?
Well, so the
The businesses in
sidewalk,
front of them, is that their real estate?
it depends. If they're a zero lot line business, which most of them are downtown, technically it's property of the city, but it would fall under the purview, in most cases, under like on Auburn, under the
Well, are we talking?
major street
Are we talking
system.
ownership of the city, or are we talking right-of-way and easement of the city? Because do
Well,
those?
that's the same thing.
No,
Easement,
ownership is
so
different than easement.
right away is ownership, easement is access.
Sure. So do these properties, let's use Deanna's Barber Shop. Does her property start at her brick wall, or does her property start at the curb?
If I would have to guess, because I haven't seen her deed, I believe it starts at the brick wall.
Okay, then in that case, I would agree that the rate is proper. Had the property started at the curb, then I would argue that the maintenance of the concrete in front is the responsibility of the business owner, and therefore the equation would be off by that point.
Right.
as a guesstimation from what I've experienced through my career, the majority of the businesses within this downtown area that we're talking about, the short from Summers to from Summers to 59 and from Van Dyke to, we'll say, the bridge. I'm not so sure about A-Line where that one falls in, or City Hall, but that area, the majority of those are zero lot line properties.
Okay.
And the sidewalk is owned, is right away of the road and owned and maintained by the city.
That
So
makes sense.
technically, like even the fees should go to the street department, because they would be most likely, no, technically they should, if the street department were to be responsible for the repairs. And in most cases, when we do those repairs out there, they're Act 51 reimbursable activities, aside from maybe some of the administrative fees that may come out of the offices here.
Okay. I appreciate it. I don't want to take us too far down the rabbit hole. That's why-
Yeah, sorry. Well, we could talk about parking tickets and all kinds of stuff. We'll keep going, but.
I would like to say that,
Anyway, thank you.
Councilman O'Donnell came up with his calculation for what the replacement cost would be. In doing my own due diligence, I asked independently Mr. Lang what the costs would be, and they were identical, so.
So-
great job.
That's because he asked me first.
Shot him a text.
Thank you for playing along.
Good opportunity for me to say, as much as I like and respect my colleague, Councilman Consora, I think this is actually too much. I think it should just be $20 per square foot divided by the 20 years. I think we probably already generate revenue just from that. Either way, we want this. I mean, a downtown where people are hanging out is a downtown where people want to hang out. So I think this is actually something we should be encouraging. I don't think we should be running up the bill until maybe this becomes a problem, until there's, there's so many people who want outdoor seating, we're bumping into each other. Okay, now we have a good problem to have. Right now we have the opposite problem where there's literally no seating downtown. So I'll vote yes, but I think 2, 3, and 4, I don't really see the need for it. I'd like to go on record.
You are now on record.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to add that I was astonished at the other municipalities that I checked with. None of them knew why their costs were the way they were. And so I'm very pleased that this passes, because at least we can base it on numbers. I also don't want to lose the fact that, that if we were to raise prices, that essentially is raising prices to the customers, because the business isn't going to take that on the chin. They're going to pass it on to the customers, and there's less people coming to Utica. So I think that's something to consider as well.
Sure. And the one thing that Councilman O'Donnell's point, items 3 and 4, the $75 per year for city office administrative work and $75 per year for building inspections, if we didn't recoup that from the business owner that was requesting the outdoor patio, it would be the taxpayers subsidizing that activity. So that's why the items 3 and 4 are in place. So our residential taxpayers and our other business taxpayers aren't paying to have the inspections performed by the petitioner. We do have a motion on the table, I believe, and support. Is there any other discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Sikora?
No.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. I'm sure our friends at Vino and Vibe are going to be happy to hear that we listened and we came up with a solution for them. So thank you, council. All right, next we have no correspondence. Under new business, we are now revisiting the fireworks petitioner. We heard from the gentleman who was petitioning for the fireworks. We didn't hear from anyone in the public. Well, we did hear one person asking how long it would be. So at this time, we would be looking for a motion to approve the petitioner's request to have fireworks sales and a temporary tent at 13277 Hall Road from June 22nd to July 6, 2023.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Dion, support by Ryan. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Sikora?
Yes.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. Next, under new business, is a 2023 proclamation for Utica United Methodist Church. I would like to thank Councilman O'Donnell for putting this together. In my absence, he is going to actually attend on Father's Day, the ceremony. They're celebrating their 200th anniversary at Utica United. They have kind of a rich history in Utica. I think the Councilman O'Donnell's proclamation that he will read into record illustrates some of that rich history.
Oh, yeah.
So with no objections, I'm going to hand it over to you, Councilman O'Donnell.
I think I would do the motion, right? I move to adopt the proclamation titled City of Utica 2023 Proclamation honoring Utica United Methodist Church for 200 years of service and dedication.
I think maybe read the whole proclamation into record.
Well, do I read it after the motion is made?
No, before.
Cool. All right. Yes, I had a lot of fun there. I actually intended to bring the Utica history book with me, but I was running late because of who I am as a person. And yeah, but it's pretty neat. There's lots of little facts in there. So listen to this. So, whereas the first religious society in Utica were the Methodists, organized in 1823, and whereas in 1839, the first Utica Methodist Church was built in downtown Utica, and whereas in 1855, the Utica Methodist Church was cut in half and moved a few blocks over to a location that the young congregation members at the time described as more fashionable. Whereas ground broke on the church's current location in December 1964. Whereas the first consecration services were held at the new Utica United Methodist Church in December 1965. Whereas members of the Utica United Methodist Church are dedicated to serving and enriching both their own members and the Utica community at large. And whereas Utica United Methodist Church has been a pillar of our community for 200 years, and whereas the city of Utica has an interest in promoting and celebrating our local institutions, therefore be it resolved, the city of Utica recognizes, honors, and congratulates the Utica United Methodist Church on their 200-year anniversary.
I support
Very
it.
nice.
Very nice.
There were some other fun facts. I didn't know, the societal climate today or whatever, but these early Methodists, as well as some of, essentially like in the mid-1800s, the Methodists had at least 2 stops on the Underground Railroad in Utica, which is ridiculously cool. And they were like really big into the abolitionist movement and very sort of like the rabbit hole goes deep on sort of early Utica history. So I actually had a lot of fun. A lot of fun researching.
Are there known or speculated sites in the city, the 2 that you talked about?
Yes.
One,
Yep. Councilman Ryan, yes.
Your house?
His
Yeah.
house.
My backyard was a speculated site. Right where my pool's at now.
That's cool.
I didn't put the pool in.
Yeah, and then Peter Lyric, he had his, they just described it as some acreage that he had, so, yeah. So I thought that was super cool.
Very cool.
So now there's the Octagon House and Mike Ryan's house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so from the story that I was told is that when they put in the pool, however, like back in the 70s or 80s, they found like an underground chamber.
Wow.
So but I've never seen pictures of it. I've only heard the stories. And that was part of the speculation that it was part of the Underground Railroad sites.
Is your house haunted?
Maybe, it probably is.
All those downtown houses are.
Yeah, my kids scare all the ghosts away, so.
What year was your house built?
It was at 1907?
Well, to get us back on track,
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
believe
Sorry.
Councilman O'Donnell would be looking for a motion to approve the proclamation for the 200 years of service and dedication of Utica United Methodist Church.
I think I made the motion, right?
I support.
You made the motion.
Motion by O'Donnell, support by Robinson. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Sikora?
Yes.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. Next on the agenda is department reports. I'll kick it off. Couple quick items. I'd like to thank resident Alicio Hernandez and Woodside Bible Church for painting the tunnel. Unfortunately, if anybody's been in the tunnel recently, the graffiti artists have already been at work, but we really appreciate Mr. Hernandez and Woodside Bible Church for all they do in the city. They did a great job. I'd also like to thank the American Legion and Marine Corps League for the Memorial Day ceremony at Memorial Park. It was very nice, well-attended, and just a really great day. Thank you to all the council folks that showed up as well. Much appreciated. Would like to remind everyone that Utica Palooza is this Saturday, June 17th. This event is sponsored to raise awareness for dementia and Alzheimer's disease. There's a walk at Grant Park at 9 a.m. There's a road rally beginning at Grant Park at 2 p.m. and a comedy show at the American Legion Post 351. Doors open at 6 and the comedy show starts at 7. It's a great event. I went last year to both the walk and the comedy show, and it's a really good day in Utica. A lot of things going on. I just got news this afternoon that Rusty, does anyone remember what Rusty is? I know Madam Clerk does. Rusty the Pig arrives tomorrow. Our new sculpture that will be installed over at Casson Auburn area. So I believe it's at 11:30 if anyone wants to come and see the pig arrive. Then
That's tomorrow, Mr. Mayor?
tomorrow at 11:30, yeah. And that's all I have in my reports. One thing that's truly my honor tonight is to offer to council approval of a proclamation in support of a Utica business person who has meant so much to Utica. Really, this business has put Utica on the map in so many ways. Supporters from all over the country come to Utica, which is really unheard of. Brian Barzak is a rare person indeed. I speak to many business people, many developers that are wanting to come to the city. And the conversation usually goes like this. Mayor, what can Utica do for me? How can Utica make me money? Brian is the total opposite. I don't think I've had one discussion with Brian where this sentence didn't come into play. How can I help Utica? I love this community. Is what I'm doing good for this community? As much as I can tell, Brian guides all his decisions on being part of a community that he loves, on contributing to the city, on supporting the businesses that surround him. And again, it's just really something that is rare, appreciated, and amazing. Brian's currently undergoing a very serious health challenge. He's always stuck by the city of Utica. He's always supported Utica. And now it's our turn, Utica, to support Brian. So tonight, I'd like to read into the record a proclamation doing that, proclaiming support for Brian Barzak. Whereas Brian Barzak, born in Michigan on September 6, 1969, developed an early fascination with the natural world, especially reptiles. As a child, he would spend hours exploring the nearby woods, searching for snakes and other reptilian creatures. This early passion set the foundation for his future endeavors in reptiles. And whereas Brian started a reptile company, BHB Reptiles, in 1989. Brian transformed BHB Reptiles into a successful endeavor serving customers worldwide. And whereas Brian's YouTube channel has amassed a massive following of 4 million subscribers and 6 million followers on TikTok. And whereas Brian's remarkable journey in the reptile world has garnered him widespread recognition. He has been featured in acclaimed media outlets such as Animal Planet, Discovery Channel, and National Geographic. And whereas Brian opened the Reptarium in 2018, which quickly became a hub for reptile lovers, hosting over 1,000 reptiles of various species, including snakes, lizards, frogs, and even unique creatures like the two-toed sloth named Drogo, who escaped, I saw on your... I'm glad he was found quickly. And the 6-banded armadillo named Brillo. And whereas Brian and his family are currently working on their most challenging undertaking, opening an AZA-accredited aquarium across the street from the existing Reptarium. This new aquarium will allow guests to interact with various wildlife from land and sea and keep their hands wet from when they enter to when they leave. And whereas, in March 2023, Brian was diagnosed with inoperable pancreatic cancer, and because of his health status, funding for the aquarium expansion became harder to secure. Instead of retreating in defeat, Brian reached out to his community on social media and raised $227,000 of the $2.5 million needed to complete the project. Brian has decided to name the new facility Legacy Aquarium, so that through his legacy, he can continue to inspire a passion for wildlife for generations to come. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council proclaims the City of Utica's support Brian Barzak, his family, and his followers. The City of Utica wishes him the best of luck as he battles his recent health challenge. So, I would be looking for a motion to approve this proclamation.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Sikora, support by Terenzi. Any discussion from council?
I think we all additionally support.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's 7.1 million on TikTok now. 4.55.
Thank you. I just wanted to, first off, thank a lot of my crew that's here and family that's here. Mayor, you're right. I've never been more welcomed by a city than Utica. We've been in several other places, and from the day we got here, I knew it was home. And I know that I could have moved to a lot of other places to do this now $5 million budget project. But there's no place I'd ever want to be but Utica, and I just wanted to thank, the council members, the police department, the fire department, because I know you guys get called out to my place quite a bit. I appreciate you guys, and this is one of the most special moments of my life, and I appreciate you guys doing this for me, and I'm going to beat it, and I'm going to be here.
I think I got a little flustered. Did we actually vote yet? No. See? I caught it though, didn't I? So if there's no further discussion from council, I'd be looking for, Madam Clerk, could you take a roll call vote?
Sikora?
Yes.
Terenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. It's official. Thank you, Brian.
We appreciate you.
Thank you, Brian. It's been a common theme tonight. Not a lot of excitement happening from this point forward. You're welcome to stay. Maybe go visit with Brian out in the lobby.
We don't feel bad.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Do the 4 remaining residents have any questions?
This is usual.
Now we're left to the usual
All
crowd.
4 of you, calm down.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the contract and hiring of our DPW superintendent. As, I don't know how public it is yet, but Mr. Lang is retiring very soon. We undertook the effort of advertising for and interviewing candidates as his replacement. I'd like to thank Councilman Ryan for participating in that effort. Also, Mr. Lang participated in interviewing the prospective candidates. Mr. Bill Diamond rose above and became the clear candidate that we wanted for Utica. You'll see in your packet a copy of his contract. And I would be looking for a motion to approve the contract and hiring of William Diamond for the position of DPW superintendent.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Ryan, support by
Kenny got me.
Mayor Pro Tem Sikora. Any discussion from council?
There's not a pro-William bias to this job. is there?
No, it's a requirement.
Absolutely.
It's a requirement.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a requirement.
As
think
long as
so.
we listed it, you know?
I think so. Any other discussion from council? It looks like you're wanting to say something there, Councilman Dion.
Oh, no. I look forward to meeting him.
Ominous. Kidding.
Well, that was quite easy. Madam Clerk, a roll call vote, please.
Sikora?
Yes.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. I know for Mr. Diamond, we are doing a background check. Thank you for bringing all the documents. Our police department's working through that. As soon as that's completed, we'll get together, sign the contract, and get you working with Mr. Lang, hopefully, to get some of his expertise and institutional knowledge before he hands over the reins to you. So, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I guess I should have introduced you too, because this is Mr. Bill Diamond right here.
Welcome.
Very good. Any other reports from council tonight?
I'd like to thank Ms. Terenzi and her family for helping on with the Utica Lions and their wonderful pancake breakfast. We were the benefactors of delicious sausages, pancakes, and breakfast sandwiches. I know you'll probably touch on that, but just wanted to thank you guys for hosting everyone out for the pancake breakfast. It was delicious. I hope you guys made some money for the Lions.
We did, thank you so much. The Lions did really, really well. What we've been doing is, rather than having people pay, we just say it's free, and if you want to give us a donation, and that's worked out really well. For our small little Lions Club, we made over $1,000 in those 4 hours. So it was, and we had really a nice menu, not just the old pancakes. We had pancakes with blueberries, we had sausage, we had egg McMuffins, and we had cinnamon rolls. So they had all of that. It was a great breakfast. It was a great morning. And the Parks and Rec Committee, I don't know if Lori was going to touch on that or not. I apologize. Parks and Recs did donate a swing to the Pro family, and Mr. Pro was on council, when I first moved here in 1976, I think, or somewhere around there, maybe a little bit after when he came knocking on my door. So we dedicated the swing to them as a thanks for all they've done for the Lions and for the city. And for those of you that are old timers, I'm sure you all remember the flowers that used to be right out here. Mr. Pro would come every year and buy the flowers himself and plant them himself and keep them up all summer. you know, for the beauty of our city, just because he loved our city. So that's what our Lions legacy is. So that's all I'm going to say, otherwise I'll get going. So thank you. I'm done.
Any
Thank
other
you.
reports from council?
I do have to say that my children did appreciate all the pancakes. They just have one request. They all have to be Mickey Mouse shaped, but
You know what, if you would have asked somebody, they would have done it, I promise you. I promise you. Even my husband, but he was only making the batter this time. He didn't cook them this time.
Any other reports from council?
Super quick, Mr. Mayor, I too had on my list to thank resident Alicio for painting the tunnel. It looked fantastic, if short-lived, but very fantastic while it did. And I want to thank Chief Wilczek, gave me a tour of the new fire engine. I learned a lot, and boy, oh boy, is that thing cool. It's
fun.
That's what real men do, like that, like you see these like skinny hands, like, oh man, these are real men. Whew. So thank you, Chief. Biscuit enjoyed it as well, my dog.
I think you're making him blush.
Thank you, Councilman O'Donnell. All right, nothing tonight from planning, nothing from assessing, nothing from building. I do believe Madam Clerk is going to give us a library report per Ms. Francis.
Very exciting.
I am, thank you, Mayor and Council. For those of you who didn't know, there was a little library at Grant Park that was destroyed. And Katie Francis wanted to thank the Heckmans, Crystal, Kevin, and their son, who rebuilt and installed the little library right where it used to be. The library is extremely grateful that they took the time and effort to add it back to the park, and hopefully people will continue to use it for years to come. That was her report.
I know they had their kickoff event for summer reading on Saturday.
They did, they had a bounce house and lots of activities at the library. If you follow their Facebook page, or if you don't, I would encourage you to. They have a new children's librarian, and they have lots of special activities going on this summer. So I would encourage you to check out their Facebook page.
Excellent. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Chief Wilczek, report from fire.
Yes, Mayor and Council. I'm here tonight to request the purchase of a TNT rescue tool. This is a Hearst tool that we use for extrication in car accidents. We're replacing a tool that was like out of the 1980s. It's got a big-ass power unit, big power unit that we carry around. And the tool itself probably weighs, what, 100 pounds easy?
Oh, God.
Too much. But this is a compact unit. It's going along with the theory that we're going to the battery operated, so we're getting rid of the fuel. And this is kind of like a proprietary tool. It runs on the Milwaukee 18-volt battery that we're using on all the rest of our tools on the truck. So I found a demo unit. We kind of demoed it. It was new, and we demoed it, and we got a discount. So we'd like to approve the purchase from R&R Trucking, or R&R Fire Truck Repair. And it would affect the funding's coming from the MEDC grant. It's 101-336-569-000-372-118. And the expenditure would be equipment purchase 101-336-981-000-372-118 in the amount of, let's see here, $10,775.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Ryan, support by Terenzi. Any discussion from council?
Just got to say that I have used that old tool. It takes about 2 people to lift it up. You will throw your back out if you try to lift it up by yourself, so it definitely is in good need for replacement. And us transitioning over to the Milwaukee batteries gives it a little bit more versatility, and especially with it being a combi tool, a little bit more rapid response, a little more versatility.
Any other discussion from council?
No, thank you, Chief Wilczek, for always getting us a good deal.
Oh, no problem.
Demoing it so we get a discount. I love it. It doesn't get any better than that.
It's nice to have a relationship with people, too, that do it for us. So,
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Sikora?
Yes.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. Your next item, Chief?
Yeah, the next item is the increase in our ambulance fees. These fees haven't been increased since before COVID. I can't remember exactly when our last time we did increase them. And these are by the suggested billing from our billing company, Acumed. They do a nationwide survey and they know what is allowable. So I would like to increase the following fees. ALS emergency from current resident is $650, raise that to $700. And current non-resident is $700, we're raising that to $850. ALS 2 emergency is $760 for a resident, we're raising that to $1,000. And current non-resident for the same is $800, raising that to $1,200. BLS emergency for a resident is $550 currently, raising it to $600. And current non-resident was $620, raising it to $700. And then overall mileage is raised by $2.50. It was $15.50, raising it to $17.50.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion from council?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a question. Well, just out of curiosity, the changes that required no change, what was the thought process around that?
We're at the max as it is right now, suggested. There are Medicaid, Medicare only lets you charge so much, and they figure all this stuff into it. So we're kind of like maxed out on all the rest of those.
Thank you.
Okay.
Will we be maxed out on the ones that we're raising as well?
Pretty much. They're
So this
taking
is
right
it
to
for a
the top.
while?
Yep.
Do Shelby and Sterling Heights charge their residents the same rate?
Shelby,
Shelby and Sterling, they charge their residents the same rate?
it's a resident, non-resident rate, and everybody gets billed.
Would you know what they're charging?
I have no idea.
Can we find out?
Yeah, good.
Okay.
We had a motion,
Yes.
and we had support. Just for the record, for anyone watching on cable that doesn't have the packet in front of them, I think there's 10 items if I counted correctly, and you're only raising 4 of them. The other 6 remain no change.
Yes.
Those residents are going to think it.
If there's no further discussion from council, Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Sikora?
Yes.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. Anything else to report, Chief?
Yeah, invitation for council, we're having a training exercise June 21st in the evening, 4 o'clock, behind Puff, the old apartment building, the 3-story apartment building. If anybody would like to come participate with us and see what we do, we're encouraging that. We'll even outfit you, give me a call, and we'll get you some gear. You can participate, so.
I already warned you, you gotta get double X strong.
Chief, what time is that on the 21st?
It'd be 4 o'clock.
Size husky.
Yeah. Thanks,
But it's
Chief.
a pretty intense training. It's really valuable to have a building like that for us to train. So we appreciate it from Puff.
You see quite a few of us jumping out of a good second floor window. We'll be doing that.
We give you an elevator ride too. Up. So,
Great.
Can I fly my drone over there, or?
yeah.
Okay, I'll bring my drone.
So I could just be a spectator versus
Well, you can be a
going in.
spectator, but if anybody wants to participate, we'll suit you up and mask you out and stuff, so.
I can see you in turnout gear. I think you could do it.
Here we go.
I do that.
You should do it.
All right, well, thank you very much, Chief.
Yep.
Chief Kaluzny, report from police.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Included in your packet is a agenda item summary, and what this is for a small department group discount program that's offered from Oakland Advanced Police Academy over at OCC. So what this program entails is you enter into an agreement with Oakland Community College, and what they base the fees on is based what's called our Act 302 funds. So it's money that's specifically earmarked for police training. It comes down from the state, and that's what the cost of the program is gonna be. These costs kind of fluctuate from year to year. This year's funds that we actually just received in April were substantially almost double of what they were last year. This training program includes a number of free training classes that are included in your packet there, and then there's discounted classes as well that's offered. The program also includes 8 hours of what's called the Crest Center, and what that is kind of a mini city that you can set up training. They have a gas station, they have hotels, they have houses. You can go in and conduct training in a nice enclosed area at that center. Also includes 8 hours of a driving simulator that they have and 8 hours of a use of force simulator. So based on my projections of what we're projected to get for our 302 funds, it's gonna be about $4,600 for the next year. As I'm looking at the trainings that we have offered, included in my budget presentation was new patrol vehicles. With the new patrol vehicles, since we're changing from kind of a different platform, we need to send our officers to emergency vehicle operation training. So what happens with that is the college puts on training, it's at an enclosed course, and officers learn how to drive the vehicles in emergency situations. How the cars are manipulated at higher speeds, how they turn, how kind of the body mechanics. Based on the cost of sending the officers to the training, it's gonna cost $3,200 to send 16 officers to the training. This is offered, included into the cost of the small department program at no cost. So it's $3,200 off of the 46 already that we're gonna see savings. There's also radar class that's offered over there, and that's mandatory to get our officers out to be able to enforce traffic laws. We have 2 officers slated to go to training in August, and that's $300 a class. That's included as one of the free classes here. So just based on the mandatory initial trainings that we have, we're almost at the total cost of the 302 funds. The funds that come from the state are specifically earmarked for training, and I have to audit and report back to the state at the end of the fiscal year exactly what trainings were set. We're not allowed to kind of keep a slush fund of training funds and build them up over the years. We have to show that the funds coming in are the funds going out. So what I'll be looking for is a motion to amend the initial budget that I presented, to amend the revenue line item by $4,600, and then that's also gonna amend the expenditure line item by $4,600. So as the 302 funds come in, the 302 funds come out. And then I'd also be looking at a motion to enter into the small department agreement with Oakland Community College. I really think it's an excellent opportunity to get a lot of police training at really a bargain price for the city and the officers.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to have the chief's budget, the training budget amended, and also authorize him to enter into the training agreement with Oakland Community College for advanced training.
Motion by Dion, support by Terenzi. Any discussion from council?
I do have to say that as a OPA graduate myself, I can attest to they have very excellent instructors over there. They'll treat you well.
Great. Madam Clerk, a roll call vote, please.
Sikora?
Yes.
Terenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Condrino?
Yes, motion carries. Your next item, Chief?
Yes, Mayor and Council. Next item I have is kind of an update on the FEMA hazardous mitigation grant that was applied for. Back in December 14th of 2021, then Chief Cody had brought a grant that Captain Orlowski over the fire department had written for the city, and that's to receive a updated generator for both the police department and the fire department. We were successfully awarded that grant, and we received $82,800 for the grant. And when we had brought it originally to council, it was based on a 25% match. Based on the grant that came in, it's actually a 10% match. So myself, Captain Orlowski, and the treasurer had kind of worked together and created a bid request, submitted the bid on MIN to solicit bids for this project. So it's kind of a closed bid, and then we wait till the bid process is over. Upon receiving the bids, we actually only received 2 bids back. And as we went through and reviewed the bids were substantially higher, the initial bid that we had. And kind of as we really got into them, realized that there's things that were not correctly bid out in the initial thing. So we had submitted certain specifications, and they didn't come back and bid those specifications. There are also some items on there that they bid that isn't necessary or shouldn't have been included. One of them specifically for the police department was include what they consider like a level 3 hood. And what that is a sound dampening hood to where you can kind of stand next to a generator and have a conversation without being able to yell. Our generator, if you're familiar with it, is in that outside building that's separate from the police department through a brick wall. We don't need a sound deadening hood, and based on the cost of that, that's increasing a cost, and that would essentially be an expenditure that the citizens would have to bring out that we don't need. Decision was made to rebid the project. We're based on the fact that the specifications that came back weren't correct. So we're gonna bid the project on. I just wanted to give you an update as to kind of where the grant's going, what the process is, and one of the grants that came back, their timeline was 40 weeks to have the generator back. The deadline on this grant is July 10th, 2025. So we still have time to be able to rebid the project, make sure that we get specific specifications, and really make sure that the cost that the city's gonna have to put in is appropriate for the generators and for the materials and stuff that we're getting back. Does anybody have any questions on kind of the process with the grants?
Anything else to report, Chief?
No, other than that, that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, at this time, we need to bring in Mr. Paternoster.
Mayor and council, public who actually wanted to stay to hear this. First item under the treasurer's agenda is the adoption of the 2024 budget, the adoption of the annual appropriation ordinance, and adoption of the millage rates. We'll begin with the budget document. Document is a collection of funds of the city of Utica, including the general fund, the major and local street funds, I should say.
And we reviewed all these documents in the public hearing.
We discussed all of these in the public hearing, yes.
So at this point, I think we could get the motion on the floor and see if there's any deliberation from council.
Certainly, then I will ask for a motion to adopt the City of Utica, Michigan annual budget for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2024.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Terenzi, support by Sikora. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, a roll call vote, please.
Sikora?
Yes.
Terenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries.
Next, I would ask for a motion to adopt the annual appropriation ordinance for the City of Utica for the fiscal year 2024.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Sikora, support by Terenzi. Any discussion from council?
I just have one particular question. I was just looking at the proposed projected budget as we go through the years. And I just want to be confirmed that I'm reading this right. It talks about the projected surplus at the end of budget year. And it says for projected budget 2025 to 2006. And it shows the deficit is decreasing. That is what we still owe back. And so we're getting to the point where we are getting better, correct?
Which
You're
document are
talking
you
water
looking
and
at,
sewer
please?
fund, right?
Yes, on the water and sewer fund.
The water and sewer fund I haven't got to yet. It's not included in either of these documents.
Okay. Sorry, I jumped ahead, didn't I?
No problem.
So we had a motion and support. Any further discussion from council? Madam Clerk, a roll call vote, please.
Sikora?
Yes.
Terenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries.
Thirdly, I would ask for a motion to adopt the millage rates for fiscal year, I should say for tax year 2023. They are outlined in the L4029 that was included in the packet. Those millage rates are general op 16.4024, public safety 1.6398, public library 0.8197, and public library August 6, 2016 0.3894, for a total of 19.2513 to be levied against the assessed taxable values presented by the assessor on the July 1st summer tax bill for 2023.
So moved.
Motion by Sikora,
Support.
support by Torenzi. Any discussion from council? And just for the record, Mr. Paternoster, those rates are unchanged from the previous years.
That is correct. The comment made earlier by Councilperson Torenzi about taxes going up is due to the fact of the inflation rate being capped at 5%, but in excess of that in reality. And so everybody who did not have a transfer of ownership in 2022 will see an increase in their property taxes due to that rising taxable value.
Any further discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Sikora?
Yes.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. Your next item, sir.
Next item on the agenda is the adoption of the 2024 sewer and water fund budget and the water and sewer rates to fund that department. And I seem to have misplaced the document that was included. Thank you. There we go. So, proposed sewer and water rates for fiscal year 2024. We are proposing a ready-to-serve charge for water of $2.95 for a 5/8 meter. That compares to last year of 2.97, so a slight decrease. The rates for 3/4 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, and 6 inch are multiplied by an REU factor as presented in the packet. The consumption charge that we are proposing for fiscal year 2024 water is 6.65. And for the sewer, we're looking at a ready-to-serve rate of $9.26 on a 5/8 and a consumption charge of $11.59. The total combined consumption charge, water and sewer, would be $18.24, which is an increase over last year from $17.44. The driving factors in the consumption charge were inflationary, increases in the rates charged by Great Lakes Water Authority and Macomb County Wastewater Disposal District, and also increases in the department's operating expenditures, which include wages and other benefits, as well as supplies and maintenance. The reduction in the ready-to-serve charge was primarily due to a decrease in debt service requirements. So I would submit to the council for a motion to approve the 2024 water and sewer rates as
So moved.
presented.
Motion by Deanne,
Support.
support by Sikora. Any discussion from council?
Sorry, I gotta re-ask my question. So, so for the projected surplus at the end of the budget year on the sewer and water fund proposed budget sheet, it shows that the projected budget out for 2025 to 2026 it shows that it appears that our deficit is going down, so we are getting closer and closer to being basically
That is
fully
correct.
solvent.
Yes, and that is a direct result of repaying the advance from the general fund through these rates and controlling expenditures.
So, we have a project, we have a goal in sight.
Yes.
So, that's the part that I like to hear. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, I would say on the budget, but we haven't voted. Did we vote on the
No,
rates? No.
we're just-
Okay, so we'll move to the budget second after this.
Yeah, we're in discussion period for sewer and water rates. I know, we knew this was coming. I don't know if you recall, over the summer, we had a pretty heated discussion with GLEWA, or GLWA, as I say, but they keep correcting me that it should be GLEWA. They raised our rates. We argued it, we fought it, we had several meetings, Mr. Paternoster, myself, Mr. Lang. They went nowhere, as we pretty much suspected they would. We went to the public hearing, we were quoted in the Detroit News, got called from the CEO of GLEWA about, why we made comments at the public hearing. So we fought the battle and we didn't win, which we didn't expect to. So we knew that those increases were coming in consumption. They're not as bad as we thought. I did the rough math, and if I'm not mistaken, it's about like a 5% versus the 9.1 in the actual water increase. So yeah, also, I would like to point out, this is the new process we have of total transparency. All the numbers are here. The city for many years just raised rates arbitrarily, or, however to try to stay on track. We didn't raise rates for, I believe it was 9 years, and got into the, situation we're in. Thankfully, for the last several years now, we adopt the new rates, whether they're higher or lower, every June. And they're put into the public record. They're transparent, so the public can see what we're doing. If they don't like it, they can vote us out, but we're gonna do it responsibly. We're gonna make sure that what we charge is based to our residents and our business owners, is based on the real math that we're being charged from the suppliers. So we never like to raise rates for our residents and business owners, but it's the responsible thing to do. Or we get in trouble, and we don't wanna be in trouble. Any further discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Sephora?
Yes.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. We have another motion for the budget there?
Yes, I would request a motion to adopt the sewer and water fund budget for fiscal year 2024. I would like to add that fiscal year 2024 has some significant increases in the other services and charges in capital outlay due to projects being funded by the MEDC enhancement grant and ARPA, the federal grant that we were awarded in 2022. And those two projects run over into, the MEDC grant project runs over into fiscal year 2025 as well.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget.
Support.
Motion by Sikora, support by Torenzi. Any discussion from council? I would like to add one thing. We hope that the projects that we have, specifically the sanitary drain, or the sewer lining, is at some point gonna turn into a savings to our residents. Unfortunately, rates are determined on a 5-year rolling plan. So it'll be at least a calendar year, once we're done with these, before we see that decrease in sewer flows. And then it only will impact 1/5 of the cost because it's on a 5-year rolling plan. So 5 years from now, I hope to be able to be, give the good news that our rates are dropping, that we're gonna see a savings from all the sewer lining project that we're gonna be starting here soon in the summer. But again, it's not gonna be an immediate impact. Any further discussion from council? Madam Clerk, a roll call vote, please.
Sikora?
Yes.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. Your next item, Mr. Paternoster.
You had in your packet a request to make some amendments to fiscal year 2023. I would ask a motion to, ask for a motion to make those amendments to the current fiscal year.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Sikora, support by Torenzi. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, a roll call vote, please.
Sikora?
Yes.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. And I believe your final item.
My final item is the 2023 audit engagement letter. I would request a motion to authorize the mayor to sign that on behalf of the city so we can get our auditors working on the fiscal year 2023 audit.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Torenzi, support by Sikora. Any discussion from council? No. Madam Clerk, a roll call vote, please.
Sikora?
Yes.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. Thanks again, Phil, for all the hard work.
Yes.
Very proud of what we've come up with for our residents. Next on the agenda, DPW report. Mr. Lang.
Yes, Mayor and Council should have in your packet a agenda item summary to request the ordering and purchase of a Falcon asphalt repair, or asphalt patcher recycler. We've utilized, actually, the department's gone through multiple years without any types of equipment, and we also, probably the last 15 years, have utilized a homemade version, which is long since outlived its usefulness.
Maybe for barbecuing. You could convert it back to the barbecue it once was.
Might have started that, yeah, right? Yes. Anyway, I'll bring it to your house. So you'll find in your packet a request to purchase. This is of all the units that are out there, this is the preferred one that we'd like to request to purchase. There's a couple different models out there. Actually, this model came recommended from a company that used to handle one of the different models. So they were a rep from a different company that, and they suggested buying this one as well. It's part of the My Deal purchase, so it meets the purchase policy requirements. It will actually be funded out of next year's budget. There's a 90-day lead time, 90 to 120-day lead time. I thought that, one of the last things that I could try to get done before I leave is get this in the queue to get it ordered and on its way. The purchase is budgeted for, and because you approved the budget, it'll be authorized to be ordered after the budget has been published and whatnot. So we'd make sure that we can follow all of that protocol. The funding source is coming out of the assigned fund balance, 101-441-692-000. The expenditure side will be out of equipment purchases, 101-441-981-000, in the amount of $24,967. If you would so support the purchase.
What time does Wapner come on?
Does he know the lotto number too?
I was just gonna say, that's very impressive.
The thing is, he could be BSing us the whole way. None of us are gonna know.
Oh, no, no,
I was following along.
Sorry, I wasn't.
So Mr. Lang would be looking for that motion.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Sikora, support by
I'm
Dion.
supporting him just because he said all the numbers. Everything else sounded great.
Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Excuse me. Sikora?
Yes.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. I gotta say one thing, though. I looked on their website, and there's a cost savings to using this thing, too. Because
We're gonna have you do it.
I think I would get grieved for a lot of reasons if I did.
Bless you.
But, according to their website, because it's also a recycler.
Correct.
So the hot patch stays hot is the way I read it, and, there's less waste. And I guess you can recycle patch that maybe you didn't use or whatever.
So, there are a multitude of benefits to using it. We use a product called UPM. It's a higher quality asphalt cold patch, if you would. And we use cold patch. We will use some hot patch on some projects. The usefulness of the machine is it's a warmer. What we're using now is it's very antiquated. In fact, it's got less control than your barbecue. Optimally, you like to warm the hot patch up, or the patch, if you would, to 100 degrees. There's actually there's a computer on board that will track that and keep those temps at the right temps.
Right.
If you haven't, much like the fire department offering experiences, if you haven't shoveled cold patch, I strongly welcome you to come and attend. Without the warmer and your shoulders will tell you very quickly that it not only is it useful in the sense of how much easier it is, but back injuries, shoulder injuries, wear and tear on the body, and the usefulness of the material, that you can actually get the amount that you want instead of the amount that comes out. So there's some big benefits to it. And, we appreciate it. Properly cared for, it'll probably last 35 years. So it's a real nice investment. And definitely needed and appreciated by the department.
Excellent.
So we thank you for that.
Anything else to report tonight?
Other than just to add, along with sewer rates and whatnot going up, with the mayor and council's approval of the ARPA funds and the MEDC funds, it will leave the city's sewer system in very, very good condition, along with the lift station improvements. Again, those are big deals for us. Your operating costs, you won't see an increase in your operating costs. You should see some decrease. So that's all good stuff.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, report from administration.
Mayor and council, tonight we have the CDBG program renewal. In your packet, you'll see an email from the Macomb County Action Program Manager, the 2024 to 2026 Macomb County Urban County Renewal Resolution, and the cooperative agreement for the CDBG program. Our status expires with the 2023 program year and needs to be renewed for 3 years. The city has two options to continue: participation in Urban County or non-continuation, which would exclude us from the Urban County. As this program does provide funds for many nonprofits that service our residents and provides funds for our library, I am proposing that we're following option one. Our membership would be irrevocable through 2026 program year, which ends June 30th of 2027. Going to read the Macomb County renewal resolution, and would be looking for a motion to approve renewal of the CDBG program through 2026.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Sikora, support by Torenzi. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
I have a question. I believe I need to read the renewal, the resolution.
Okay,
I apologize.
please read the resolution.
2024 to 2026 Macomb County Urban County Renewal. Whereas the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development has been delegated the responsibility of administrating the Community Development Block Grant, which is a CDBG program, which provides federal funds to assist community development activities in urban areas. And whereas the County of Macomb, as an eligible urban county, applies and receives CDBG funds to administer within the county's unincorporated areas and local governments that participate in Macomb County's Urban County CDBG program. And whereas the City of Utica does not qualify to receive CDBG funds directly. As a non-entitlement jurisdiction, the City of Utica must partner with the County of Macomb in order to receive CDBG funds. And whereas the City of Utica must renew the cooperation agreement to participate in the Macomb County's Urban County CDBG program during the next 3 years from July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2027, in order to be eligible to receive CDBG funds as well as be eligible to participate in the Home Investment Partnership Program. And now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Utica, Michigan hereby, number one, approves the City of Utica's participation in the Macomb County Urban County CDBG program for fiscal years 2024 to 2026 and the cooperative agreement, including automatic renewal provisions. And number two, authorizes the mayor or designee to sign the cooperative agreement. So motion by Sikora and support by Torenzi.
Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Sikora?
Yes.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. Anything else to report tonight?
No, sir, thank you.
Parks and Rec. Miss Lori.
So I just actually wanted to, I guess, amend last month's announcement for our Reptarium event because the date did get changed. Because the library's having theirs tomorrow. Ours was supposed to be Thursday. So we found out we were doing them back-to-back days. So we did change ours to July 14th, Friday, July 14th at 1 o'clock still. So the Reptarium event, which is a free event at Grant Park, 1 o'clock, bring your kids.
What time was that again?
1 o'clock.
1?
Yep,
Thank you.
all righty.
I would like to thank you for helping with the swing dedication for the Pro family. And also the Bird Friends event at Heritage Park went very nicely.
I guess I should just talk about that. Jim Stone here and Maria are the ones who ran that, because obviously most of us had graduating seniors, so we were not able to attend, but thank you to Jim and to Maria for running that event.
Very good, thank you. Nothing from Historic District Commission tonight. Ms. McGrail, our city attorney.
Mayor and council, you have in your packet a contract with the vendor that's been using or been providing the canoe and kayak services. It's been a program the city has been using for quite some time. I was asked to draft a new contract that has been in your packet. The questions that would be before council, should council choose to essentially renew that contract is, well, one, what is the length of time that is not in the contract, so we need to determine how long council would like to pursue this program. And then two, this contract officially expired, the prior contract expired, I want to say August or so of last year. So there were a few months where the vendor considered himself quote unquote out of contract and was not paying the city even though receiving funds in. So I would recommend that if this contract is approved, that it only be approved subject to that vendor paying those funds prior to having rights under this contract.
That seems a little shady for someone we worked with this for such a long time to do that.
Is he using Heritage Park right now? It seems to me that there's always people there.
I understand he has Mr. Lang, I think you mentioned that he was already doing some kayak work or canoe work down there. And he did submit a payment for May, as I recall, correct? Yes. Mayor? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so he has paid us. So he has paid us, he just kind of skipped out after his contract renewed for a couple of months there.
And, you know, I didn't
August,
personally talk to him about that, so I
In all
can't really say.
fairness, he may not have realized that the contract ended either, you know, we don't know.
How do we receive payment from him?
He brings in a check every month.
And so the
to the
contract
city.
ended, he's like, I'm not bringing in a check for a couple months?
He did state that he knew that he does have the checks for us.
So,
He
okay,
just-
so he's kind of got an escrow, if you will. He just wanted to hold on to them until the contract
No,
was
it's
firmed up? or-
holding on, so I get the contract, you get your back checks. I don't get the contract, you don't get your back
Yeah,
checks.
I guess depends how you want to look at it. I would have been, if I was looking to get a contract with the city, I would have been a little more forthright and like, here's my check, and if it, you know, needs to be amended later, you know, I think that's the route I would have gone.
Typically, do we go, I don't know how long the last contract was it
I
3
don't ever remember.
years?
I want to say it might have been 5, but I'm not
Yeah.
entirely.
It
It was a long time.
It was a long time.
It's different.
And, you know, the options are you could do it automatically renewing year-to-year contract. You know, terminable by either party's notice,
And Jerry runs a good business.
termination at will.
You know, he really does a great job.
Mr. Lang?
It's surprising.
I just want to add, it has nothing to do with money. It has to do with what we get in addition to whatever revenues come in. And Phil's more privy to that. Some years when I do know, some years when his business was doing extremely well, he gave us some pretty reasonable checks for, you know, and it's kind of on his honor. And I don't know, Phil, have we, you know, I think we've gotten checks in excess of $1,000, $2,000 at times. And I don't know if you want to touch on that, and then I'll finish up. But additionally, what I want to share with you is Clinton River Kayak and Canoe Launch, for the length of the river that he utilizes, and I believe they put in at Yates Cider Mill, Yates Cider Mill, and they come down and they disembark, or portage, they come out, whatever the proper term is, at Heritage Park. What he does for us at no cost to us is he maintains the navigability of the river for all folks, as well as it helps and aids in the flooding that we see here in the city. I know he's instrumental in working with, well, his yard now is where the old Sterling topsoil used to be, off of, is that Utica Road near Hayes? And he keeps that stretch of the river open as well, which absolutely has a direct impact on our flooding. You know, to what degree he's maintaining it, I can't answer on. I do know that there, you know, it does have a direct impact. So we do get that. And his group, in the event of a rescue or knowledge of the river, I would turn to no one. Now, certainly the professionals to affect the work, but as far as knowledge of where to look or how to look, or even, and I don't know if the fire department's had experience here in this city, but certainly other cities with them. So he is an asset. I would support renewing it, certainly not opposed to collecting the monies that, you know, possibly could be received. And it's my understanding that he does have checks available. So, but.
I'm a lover of having contracts renewed, because it forces us to look at them again. Everything that just renews automatically, we just get kind of lost in the shuffle and it goes by. and we forget there's there, and if there's something that we need to amend or that, it's easy not to do it. If this, you wanted to go into a 3-year contract, I'd be fine with 3 years. Too much longer than that, again, if it's a great relationship, it's easy to say, okay, we do another 3 years. It's easy for us if it's an automatic redoing, but I think we just sometimes get lost in the shuffle.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion, that we
So we-
renew it for a 3-year agreement based on the approval would be yes, that he brings past monies forward.
I'll support that. I agree. 3 years is good.
Motion by Sikora, support by Terenzi. Just so I get this straight, motion is to approve the contract subject to the vendor paying for all periods prior to execution of this agreement, to the extent not already paid, and for the length of 3 years.
Boy, I said that really well, thank you.
Any further discussion from council? Councilman O'Donnell, you look perplexed, no?
No, it should be good. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Sikora?
Yes.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. We'll get with Mr. Rise, I think is how you say his name,
I've been
Reese?
saying Reese, yeah.
It's Reese.
and finalize that. At this, absolutely.
So just as you move forward, utilize Jerry Reese, Clinton River Kayak and Canoe, if you can think of something. If you were doing fundraisers or a Parks and Rec event, or you even just for yourselves wanted to see your river and the health of it and things like, prior to grants or other work, just contact him. He will more than happily supply you, all of council, with kayaks, canoes, take you down himself. If you had, some of the past functions we had in town, he'll do those types of things. He'll do those things even for free, so, for yourselves.
It's good to know.
So just remember that. Don't be afraid to reach out to him and say, hey, can you help us with this? He's very good about things like that.
All right. Next on the agenda is communication from the public. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to address council, please step to the podium, give us your name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
Yes, Jim Stone, 45280 Klinkhammer. I had a couple questions for the new chief, but before I pose them, I want to commend the mayor, the council, and the clerk on the record for your professionalism. A whole lot of young people got an education about, number one, civic engagement and how to conduct business, and number two, parliamentary procedure. So, they came here for another reason, but they got they're all out of school, but they got a good lesson. So I want to commend one citizen to all of you, good job.
Thank you.
My question to the new chief, congratulations and welcome. I have a question. Could you comment, please, on efforts to deal with the issue of electronic fraud and scam attempts that happen to people? And, I know you're the small agency and it's a federal and state and international issue, but could you just comment on any efforts that's being taken on that, please?
We normally don't entertain questions during public comments, but as it's a direct question to the chief.
Should I ask him after the meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure he'd be glad to meet with you. And
Yeah.
All right.
for public comments, it's more just direct addresses to, council members.
So strike that second one from the record then. Congratulations.
Thank you. See, parliamentary procedure, there it is, right?
Hey, the people that don't know it, they get in issues.
Is there anyone else from the public that would like to address council? Mr. Diamond?
Mayor, Council, Bill Diamond, Sterling Heights resident, soon to be Utica employee. I just want to say thank you again to Mayor and Council, Councilman Ryan, and to Mr. Lang for the interview process. I look forward to this next chapter in my life. I'm very familiar with Utica. I do come down here. My longtime girlfriend is from here. She was raised on Chrisman. We're
I'm pretty sure that they lost the house in the flood, so they had to move out there. So steampunk, locker room. The tattoo places, I've got a couple from Big Top and from No Name. So music, I've been here for the music. So I look forward for a nice career here. And congratulations to you, Chief. And thank you again very much. I look forward to meeting you all.
Likewise.
Thank you, Mr. Diamond. Anyone else from the audience? If not, I would be looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Support.
Motion by Dion. Did I hear a support?
Yeah.
Support from O'Donnell. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries.